Hey guys, Dr. Israel here, and welcome to Personal Training. So during this course, you guys of course will have all the presentations available on Blackboard, but also I'm going to be doing some of the presentations, actually all of them, on this video for you guys. So not only do you get to read the presentations and take your own time with them and study them, in addition to that, I'll also be chatting with you guys about all the particulars. So that's kind of cool. Personal training, here's the deal. We have 8 total presentations, so let's get started. Personal training, suffering through science. Sounds kind of scary. Let's find out what it is I'm talking about. So first of all, what is personal training? What do personal trainers do? Well, a personal trainer in the most fundamental sense is somebody that accompanies a client to an actual gym and helps them train. That's about it. But personal trainers have a little bit more input than that. They're not just people who load weights onto machines and tell the client do 10 reps. They do a little bit more than that. They give the client diet input. Almost all of your clients, if you choose to become a personal trainer, will at some point ask you for diet advice. Now, you're not a nutritionist, you can't give super detailed advice, but you can definitely inform them of the basics and keep them on track. In addition to that, they'll ask for lifestyle input, how to stay active, especially how to modify their diet and their training on the road when they can't be with you, they have to go on long trips or away for business. So a personal trainer definitely needs to know how to train people, but they should also know some diet and lifestyle stuff as well. And we'll definitely cover all of that in this course, of course from a scientific perspective. Next question is, where do personal trainers work? Well, they work actually in a variety of settings. Commonly, they work at local gyms, just the gym in town. People come to train. Sometimes they hire a personal trainer so that they can help them achieve their goals. Community centers are another place for personal trainers to start out. And a lot of you guys that are starting out, possibly after taking this course, you don't have probably a ton of results with clients yet, or a really huge, impressive skill set, or a really awesome resume. Community centers are a great place to start, because a lot of times you can train people for a relatively small fee. You're not charging them a whole lot. They're in the community center setting. They're not super crazy serious about getting crazy results right away. So they might think it's fun and challenging, and it's a good opportunity for you to learn skills and get better, and also to help people as well. University gyms, probably even better for that circumstance. At a university gym, a lot of times you can train people without actually having to register through any kind of organization or the gym. You can just train your friends and perhaps your family, or perhaps other people you meet at the university. Let's say you're in shape and they ask you, well, how do I get in shape? You can come in and train them and get lots of practice training people, sometimes even without having certification, which is a very good way to learn. And a lot of times when you train people at university gyms just starting out, sometimes it's for free or for very little money, so that you get the benefit of learning the most, and of course the people get the benefit of a healthier and fitter appearance or lifestyle or what have you. In addition to that, so once you become better at personal training, once your resume improves, you get some good results for your clients, you get good certifications, you get a college education, etc., you might be able to get a job at a large corporate gym. These gyms pay very well, and they have a very constant stream of clients, so you get lots of work, you can help lots of people, and a lot of the people that go to those gyms and hire trainers, they're pretty serious and pretty committed about getting results. They're not just playing around anymore, and they want someone who really knows what they're doing, which is going to be you, especially hopefully after you take this course. And sort of last on our list are private upscale personal training studios. These aren't gyms. They're usually smaller than gyms, and nobody comes there to train just on their own. Every single person there is there with a personal trainer that is employed by that private studio. For the client, these studios usually cost lots of money, sometimes into the hundreds of dollars per hour. And the trainers get paid really well, but in order to be successful at this level, you really have to know your stuff. And a lot of these trainers have trained at a variety of other places before, and eventually they make it to this private upscale setting, and when they do that, they make lots of money, and they can help people to the best of their abilities, because by then they're very experienced, they know what they're doing, and all of the clients are very serious. They had better be pretty serious, because they're paying lots of money to get in shape. So personal trainers work at a variety of levels, and there's kind of a hierarchy. Hopefully, eventually, if if you're really passionate about personal training, you could end up in this place right here, and that would be pretty cool. All right, so, okay, so we know personal trainers train people. The next question is, who do they train? What kind of population? So first of all, personal trainers across the board train people of all ages. What do I mean by ages? Generally, they train people who are of high school age all the way into retirement age. If you're working with really small children, usually it's through a sports setting or a daycare setting and not particularly in personal training. High school students are included in this group, trying to get in shape for sports perhaps. Career moms. I'll tell you this, from my experience as a personal trainer, and I made it all the way up to the private personal training studio level, stay-at-home moms or career moms make some of the best personal training clients you can imagine because they take their fitness incredibly seriously. And when they make a commitment, they follow through. These people will suffer for you. And they will do everything you say to the letter oftentimes, and they make very excellent clients. So sometimes you'll train career moms, for lack of a better term, or stay-at-home moms, or something like that. You train a variety of people in tons of other careers, people who are just working, and they perhaps are a little bit confused on what goes on in the gym, and a lot of these people aren't very confused. They know how to train themselves, but they're pretty serious about getting in shape, and they want you, the professional, to handle that for them. They want to be guided by you so that they get the most bang for their buck. And hopefully, if you know what you're doing, you can help them. Some of these people get as high as CEOs. I've trained a variety of people that own giant companies. These people tend to be really, really committed towards training, mostly because they're really committed towards everything in their life. That's how come they became CEOs to begin with, because everything they do really well. So a lot of these guys and gals, they don't have a ton of time to research workout techniques or read about foods. They use their time to make millions and millions of dollars. They're using you as the professional to make sure you get them the best bang for their buck, and especially for their time, to get them in the best shape they can be. And you're going to be, a lot of times, their #1 source for nutritional and lifestyle advice as well, because they lead very busy schedules, very busy lives, and you're going to be the person they ask, well, how do I pack my meals? What do I take with me to the airport? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Retired people, sort of the last category I listed, of course, we train more people than this. This is just kind of a sort of a summary of people you'll train, a brief overview. Retired people have slightly different concerns with personal training. For a lot of these people, yes, you'll train them hard, but safety is priority #1. For those people, you'll really, really have to make sure your ability to teach exercise technique is spot on. Because if you're young and strong, you can do some poor technique exercises and not really have to pay for it. If you're older and you've got some injuries already, you better be doing everything correctly. Otherwise, you're going to fall apart like a Mr. Potato Head. A lot of times, if you're really interested in training what are called special populations, people with disabilities, retired people, children, people younger than high school age, you'll have to take a special populations class. We're not going to be talking much about special populations in this class. We're going to be focused on learning how to make people mostly leaner and more muscular, any combination of the two. Relatively healthy people as well. But retired people almost always fall into that category of relatively healthy people. You just need a couple of modifications, and a lot of those you'll get in other classes. Now, a really, really big question in personal training is, what do the clients want? They don't just want personal training. Almost nobody shows up to personal training to hang out with you. They're not paying to hang out with you. You might be a really cool person. I sure think I'm a pretty cool person, but no one's paid to hang out with me yet. They're there for a specific purpose. So the next question is, why are they there? And we're going to take a look at this from the following perspective of what the clients actually say. All right, not what health professionals think they should be there for, or some bureaucrat thinks they should be there for, or people should personal train to get stronger and healthier and reduce their medical costs. Yes, that's a good idea, but let's find out what the clients actually think. So let's get a list of reasons, and this is a pretty inclusive list, but as we get to the bottom of this list, got a little surprise for you, because most of the things at the beginning of the list are actually very small fractions of why people personal train. At the bottom of the list, I got a real reason that probably covers something like 90% of why people ever buy personal training at all. So here we go. People will come to you to lose weight or to gain weight. The prototypical weight loss client, either female or male, weighs, maybe 200 pounds. They used to look good and feel great when they weighed 170, and they're sick and tired of being overweight. They're going to come to you for exercise and diet advice to make sure that they get back down to a healthier, fitter weight and feel great again, and that's something you'll be able to help them with. People will pay you to gain weight, not as common of a practice as weight loss assistance, but certainly a common practice. A lot of young men in their 20s and 30s who are in a professional field, they're very successful in it, they don't have time to dabble in all this gym bro science and figure out how to get jacked. They're going to pay you to give them bigger arms, bigger chest, bigger legs, so they can fill out their suit, look good, feel great. So you're going to have to be, at least in part, a specialist as to how to grow lots of muscle, and that's a big part of what we're going to be learning in this course. People will come to buy your personal training services to try to become healthier. Sometimes the way they get there is not exactly the most exciting process. Bob might be about 55 years old. He's a successful CEO, owner of his own company. He's under a lot of stress. He doesn't always eat great. Bob goes to see his doctor, and the doctor says, Bob, listen, your test results came back. You're not doing that great. How bad do you want to see your grandchildren graduate from high school? And Bob says, well, man, that's super important to me. And the doctor says, you probably should look into doing some physical training and physical activity, and you should probably look into changing your diet because we need you to lose about 20 or 30 pounds and stay active, and that will really enhance your longevity and quality of life. And Bob goes, well, crap, I don't know anything about that. Boom, he comes to you, hires you as a personal trainer, and now your job is to make Bob healthier. And a big part of making people healthy is, one, getting them to show up to personal train because that physical activity itself makes you very healthy, and two, get them to lose fat. When people lose fat and lose weight, almost in every case they become much healthier, their blood work is better, and everything is hunky-dory so long as they keep showing up to train with you. Sometimes people will pay you to improve at sports. Now, if they're really interested in sport performance and they're in their prime of sport participation, they should really be seeing a strength and conditioning coach, a sports scientist, or a sports specialist that really trains people for sport performance enhancement. Perhaps even a sport coach if they're doing it on their own and they want to expand their game. However, a lot of people are involved in recreational sports, particularly older people and wealthier people, the kind of clients that tend to buy a lot of personal training. They're involved in sports like tennis and golf and skiing. Now these sports, a lot of times, skiing aside, are not very physically demanding, but they're physically demanding enough to where being healthier, stronger, more flexible, and having more endurance helps you just enjoy the sport more and play the sport you love. So a lot of times, I've personally had lots of clients come in and say, hey, listen, I've played tennis my whole life. I love it. It's what I do for recreation. I play hours a week if I can. But I'm noticing lately I can't move around the court like I'd like. Can you make me stronger, faster? Absolutely we can, and we'll make you healthier while we're at it. So that's a big reason why people come to see personal trainers. In addition to that, especially people who are older or people who are relatively highly overweight, sometimes they'll personal train with you to ease their daily lives. I weighed 235 pounds right now. I've weighed as much as 270 pounds before. I'm only 5'6". Let me tell you something about weighing 270 and 5'6". Yeah, it was mostly muscle in my case, but just weighing that much stinks. It's awful. Your joints hurt. Getting into a car stinks. Getting out of a car stinks. Getting into a couch stinks. Getting off the couch stinks. It's awful, it's terrible, it feels like crap, and at some point you get pretty tired of it, and you want to lose weight just to ease your daily life. Losing 30 or 40 pounds over the course of a year in a healthy, sustainable way can literally make you feel like a different person, and everything gets easier. So sometimes that's why people come to see personal trainers. Now, here we get to that big point I was talking about earlier. A lot of people will tell you that they're coming to see you for all those things, but in reality, they're coming to see you for this last point right here. They want to look better with minimal clothing. What does that mean? That means they want their bodies to improve in appearance. Now the health, they love it. Feeling better, they'll take it. Fitting into their suit better, great. Playing their sports and having more success that they've always had, amazing. But why are they really there? To look good, period. And that last point accounts, in my experience and the experience of many of my colleagues, for something like 90% of all personal training clients. How do we know that this is the case? Well, what happens is people come to you and they say, listen, I want to be healthier, I want to be fitter, I want to be in better shape, but I want to be stronger for my daily activities. And you say, that's awesome. We're going to give you all the core exercises, squats and deadlifts and bench presses and pull-ups and bent over rows. We're going to get you fit. We're going to have you doing high intensity interval training, get your cardiovascular fitness up. It's going to be awesome. And they say, great. And after a couple of weeks, they say, hey, listen, personal trainer, when are we going to work on our inner kind of ab area or on this outer ab area? I kind of want my biceps to do more of this. And you go, hold on a second. I thought you were here for your health and vitality. And you go, no, I totally am. But I really want to look good. I really want to look good. And that's all I have to say. So, if clients come to see you, a lot of times it's so they can look good. And looking good is really quite a simple equation. Lose fat, build muscle. And what's the good news with that? It makes people look much better. Most people really like that combination. And it covers basically everything else. So in this course, in personal training, I'm trying to prepare you for the real world of personal training. If I just taught you how to make people stronger and more generally fit, you'd do pretty well. But a lot of the clients that say, hey, listen, I just want to look better, at some point they keep it real with you. You're going to say, oh, I wasn't really trained in that. In this class, you're going to learn how to make people look better with minimal clothing on. We're going to focus on how to lose fat, how to build muscle, and everything else comes with that. Hope that makes sense. Now, so you decided you want to be a personal trainer, or at least work in personal training to some extent. And of course, you'd like to do the best job you can, right? Hopefully that's correct. You probably want to do a good job at everything you try. Well, the most important thing in personal training, above everything else, is results. Results are it. If you can get your clients what they want, particularly if you can get them leaner, and if you can get them more muscular, in some combination of the two, they will love you for it, they will tip you very well, they will continue to hire you, they'll talk about you all the time to their friends, and then their friends and colleagues and coworkers and all these other people will come to see you and buy your services as well. Results are number one, because they're paying you for a service. They're not paying you to hang out, they're not paying you for some undefined purpose, they're paying you for results, period. A good personal trainer is not just a good conversationalist, they don't just know science, they get results for their clients. End of story. So, we're not going to teach you in here how to pass a certification exam for personal training. I know a lot of people that pass a certification exam, they can't train their way out of a plastic bag. They can't actually get results for their clients. The only thing we'll be learning here, all the stuff we'll be learning here, ties into how to get results for your clients, period. How to make your clients leaner, how to make your clients more muscular. That's going to be 90-some% of everything this course is focused on. You're going to learn how to change people's bodies in the fastest, safest, and most effective way. All of those combined, just plain old make for the good results we're talking about. This course will be about results, not about how to pass a certification exam and call yourself a personal trainer. Now, the cool thing is we have a cheat sheet as to how to get the best results possible. And that's science. So we're going to be using scientific principles. Sometimes they're going to get pretty complicated and difficult, but they're always going to tie in to getting results. Science is the surest path to the truth. So let's get started. We'll see you for the next lecture.